This is Designed Happy, the podcast where we talk about the human side of home design, remodeling, and new construction. I'm Katie.
And I'm TJ, and today we have a very special show. We have our first ever guest, and this is personal for me because the guest and I used to date. We were actually engaged for over a year.
Whoa.
Our guest is our guest is my radiant and beautiful wife, Kat, who for some reason continues to tolerate my shenanigans. Kat, welcome to the show.
I am honored to be your first guest. Thanks for having me.
Not sure if TJ has told you, but knowing that you've listened to the show from the start,
Yes.
I've really used you as the bar for the quality that we want to be producing here. Have maybe even said before recording an episode, let's do it for Kat.
That's great.
But yeah, like joking aside and totally sincerely, it is such a joy to have you as our first guest. And I am wondering, as just a moment of feedback as a listener, if you've had a favorite episode so far.
Well, they're all good.
We've done it.
I think the one, I give TJ feedback after I listen to them. And sometimes it's a short text like, oh, that was great. And then others I have talked to him more about like how you both talk about a topic and how it would resonate with homeowners. And I really think it was probably the budget episode and the heat map. I think those are really great discussions to have. And everyone is going to have those no matter what project you're doing.
Yeah. I liked those too, like kind of surprisingly, because they sound, especially the budget one, sounds on paper and in the outline like, oh, great, we're talking about those. But
yeah, what'd you call it? The B word? Did you do that? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah, it's important.
Along with being radiant and and a longtime listener, DJ's wife. Anything else you want our listeners to know about you? Anything else, TJ? Anything else you want our listeners to know about your radiant, beautiful wife?
I'm the voice of the people here. That's my voice.
The voice of the people. Yeah, that's probably true. Kat's the voice of the people. Kat's always right. That's important to know.
Important to know.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
You sound so domineering.
Yeah, she's a control freak. It's crazy.
Highway.
Well, you know why we say radiant and beautiful?
Because of the song.
Yeah, so, you remember the Jake song, Golden Hour? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. Yes. The really like piano heavy song, and his fingers move really fast. You don't know it, Katie? Oh,
it was
you're
like
have to listen to it after this.
It was everywhere. Now you must.
I think I've gotten one reference that TJ's put out on the show before. It makes it sound like I didn't have, I don't know, like cable or like access to, like I grew up in a basement or something.
No, but this is recent, Katie. This is like super like a couple years ago.
Even more so.
Probably.
Even more so.
Okay. Anyway, there's the lyrics, and there's this part where Kat was like, "Oh, it sounds like he's saying radiant, beautiful wife." He's not. But she's like, "That's what it sounds like." She's
That's
like,
what it should be.
She's like, you should just say that about me.
You're like, but that's not what. It's not the point. It's not the point.
So that's a little inside joke as to why the podcast started the way it did. That's not inside anymore. Everyone else understands the really beautiful.
Ruined it.
Yeah. But I do think I'm the voice of the people, right?
Yeah.
Like TJ uses me a lot in his examples, like with clients, right? Like his brain works way differently than my brain. And I'm like, I can't picture anything. I can't picture anything. Like, even if you draw it out for me, I'm like he's like, "So," like, when we were designing our house, "Do you think you have enough space here between, like, the island and the kitchen, like, where the fridge is?" I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell from this drawing." So then
No.
he, like, tapes it out, like, in our rental house, like, "Now you can you see?" I was like, "Yes, I can definitely see now."
Yes. You are the voice of the people and the people being me as well. Um, this is so exciting. I was telling TJ before, I was like, I'm gonna try not to take over this because I am really curious about your experiences,
Uh-huh.
but I have a feeling I am gonna take over. I think we're
Mhm.
we're we're getting into a little bit of what I'm wondering about because the the gift of having TJ as a co-host is that he will share both like personally and professionally uh from his treasure trove of experiences. And having you here, now we get again
You get
the
the
other
true
side of
story.
that.
Uh-huh.
hmm So with the projects that you and TJ and your family have gone through, is there one that has been most meaningful to you?
Mm. We've had a lot of projects. I don't know
It sounds like it.
how you narrow it, and they range in scope, but I would say the most meaningful is probably the one we're in right now, probably designing our house. I feel
Mm,
like it's every residential architect's dream to design their own house. So I'm really grateful that we were able to do that and TJ was able to do that for us as our family.
mm.
You know, we have our kitchen remodels, we have our bathroom remodels, we have redesigning a piano. But a house is a very stressful situation, even with an architect husband. But I'd say that one.
Were Is that like obviously it's something you wanted enough too, like it
Mhm.
came to fruition. It was something. Were you as excited as TJ about it? Were you more
Oh, I was.
excited
I
or
was I was probably more excited than he was. He, I think,
Not
was
maybe.
scared out of his mind
Not
because of the
maybe.
lot I picked.
Definitely. She was definitely more okay, so now the people need
really?
to know the story. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had a house in Kensington that we did a whole ton of work to. We've talked about it on the podcast before, the one with the terracotta foundation. We were fortunate to buy that house in a good time, and we were fortunate to sell that house at a good time, which allowed us to sell it and then figure out what we wanted to do next. And Kat was like, "We should buy land and build a house." And I was like, "Okay, like that sounds fine, I guess." And then she found this like dumpster fire of a lot
It
in
was not that bad.
Kensington. It
It was not that
was,
bad.
no,
And we're
listen.
getting into it. Here we go.
It had a lot
so,
of potential.
so here's how our relationship works. Kat sees the potential, and then I see all the things that are wrong with it because I know too much. So she just looks at
That's true.
it and is like, "Oh my God, this would be so amazing if we just," and I'm like, "Oh my God, there's 5 million steps between here and there." So, like, even when we bought the house in Kensington that had the terracotta foundation,
Ugh.
we walked in the door and she was like, "Oh my God, this is so charming. It reminds
Yeah,
me
I
of my
loved it.
grandma's house. Like that, we're gonna live here." Like from the second we walked in that house, she was like, "We're gonna live in this house." And I was like, "These are original windows that are single pane. All of the electricals, knob and tube, all of the plumbing is super old, and
Yeah.
like everything had it to be done." So I just saw all the projects that we had to do to get it to the point where she was like, "Oh, it's so charming." But she just cared about the charming part.
Yes.
So, so I was like, "We shouldn't buy that
We get
house."
there eventually. We'd
And
get there
she
eventually.
she was like, "We're going to buy that house." And so of course we bought it. And so the same thing happened with the land. We sold that house. We were looking for what we are going to do next. She found this land that's a giant hill on a corner lot. And corner lots are very hard to develop. And that's a story for another time. But it's an extremely challenging lot to develop, to the point where the people I knew at permitting services tried to talk us out of going through with the purchase. They were like, "Don't buy this." And she was like, "No, no, no, we're
Yes,
gonna, it's,
they did. To our
we're gonna
face.
buy it." Yeah.
Don't do
It's
it.
also it's sounding a bit like the more the more you hear no, you're like, "Well, we're doing it."
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Well,
the stubborn part. Uh-huh.
that's a bit of like with again, as someone who's also like, I can't picture it. I can't see
Uh-huh.
it. I need to live in it to understand it.
Yeah.
What is it that you saw in the land? What is it that you were envisioning or that you valued about it?
Yeah, well, we were on a hunt after we sold our house, like, where are we gonna live? And we were going everywhere,
Yeah.
all over, and not just staying in Kensington. And when we saw this lot, well, one, it was in an area where we already knew we liked. It was close to both of our jobs. It had great school system. It really, like, Kensington has a great small town feel,
Mhm.
but very close to DC. Um, and how TJ described the lot is accurate. It was on a sloped hill and covered in trees, but there was this small clearing of grass in between the trees that was flat. I was like, well, there, the house can go right there. And so we bring the builder, and the builder's as emphatic as I am. Like, yes, I can see it. You can totally we can build a house here. I'm like, well, then that's it. We
Of
went through
course,
this.
the builder can see it.
Yes.
It also it does sound, TJ, like it speaks to her confidence in your skill.
Yeah, of course he could do
She
it.
I
Yes.
mean, not everybody could build a house on that lot, but you could.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, Kat and I joke now that like we do the projects that no one else wants to do. It's like
We build on unbuildable lots.
if someone else is like that project's impossible, we're like we'll
Mhm.
take it. That's the one for us. Sign us up.
As long
It
as you know it, as
it
long as you
just
know you're those people, then yeah. Once you are that's like at the beginning of the process, once you are in it, once you are y- you're in it and you are committed,
Mhm.
how I won't even pretend I'm not asking this. How do you two approach it differently? Once you're in and making decisions and you can see more of what's going on.
it's
Well,
very
TJ
different.
does all the hard work. And he says, "What color do you want this to be?" Brings me to the showroom, and then, he'll be at the kitchen table designing. Uh, yeah, I think that's accurate, right? Like, you do all the hard stuff, and I come in for the fun bits.
That's not no. I could never admit to that. So here's how it's different. I, I have an answer for this, Katie.
Okay.
So So Kat like thinks about our family and how we're going to use the house and like all the
Mhm.
function that we need to make it work for us. And
Yeah.
I come at it from what kind of cool stuff can we do here that I haven't seen before? Because like for the last, I don't know, 25 years almost, like I've been staring at houses all day, every day. So when we have the chance to do a project, I'm like, I want to do something I haven't seen. Like let's do some like let's experiment a little bit with our house and do something fun. And she's like, a family has to live here. And it's our family and it's your kids, so we should probably make it work for that first
Yeah.
and then do the fun stuff second.
Agree, Kat?
You make
Agree?
it sound like you wanted some fun house. I don't think your ideas were, like, super crazy. You did have some ideas where I was like, I don't know about that." And I had some ideas and you were like, "Alright." Like, I didn't want doors in the hallway. I think that's was
But we
I didn't
did that. We
Yeah,
did
we
that.
did do that. We did do that. I didn't wanna see any doors in the hallway. Because our first house, you walk up and it had a very little landing, and it was like door, 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 like, right around, like, in front of you. I was like, "I wanna walk up the stairs and not see a single door."
Ah,
So all the doors are pushed back into alcoves.
that's so cool. Okay, I'm sorry. Like 5 new questions are coming. I'm like, tell me more about how you how you knew to go alcove instead. But this gets right to, are there fun designs? Fun, it sounds like, is on a spectrum here. Um,
Mhm.
that did not get incorporated into this
Sure.
home.
Yeah. I mean, TJ can talk about the one he's probably most upset about that didn't make it in.
Have we heard about this one, TJ?
On the podcast? No. No. I'm still salty about it. I talk about it pretty regularly around the
Yeah.
house.
I don't know why I have in my mind it involves a slide.
No,
No,
it's
you're on the right track.
yeah, you're in the vicinity. So we have one portion of our living room, family room, whatever you want to call it, is 2-story.
Yeah.
So you get to the top of the stairs at the second floor, and then you look down over that 2-story area. And it's a rectangle. Let's say, just for the sake of argument, it's like maybe 8 feet wide and 18 feet long. So it's like it's not like a big giant family room sized square.
Yeah.
When you get to the top of the stairs, there's a railing, like normal. And I thought it would be really cool if there were no railing at all. Like you get to the top of the stairs and then like there's not the thing that you would expect to be there. So what I wanted to do was fill in the double height space with a giant hammock. So you could like get to the top of the stairs. Katie's like chuckling
Yes,
at
she
me.
agrees
So
with me. This is a crazy idea.
no, you listen, you get to the top of the stairs and then you could just like jump into your hammock that's 10 feet off the ground and look out the double height windows down onto the street. It'd be so fun.
Jump into a hammock?
Uh-huh.
How old are you? 11?
Perpetually, yes.
Like, I can't even, I'm like getting into a regular hammock. I have to be like, 3 points of contact. So, but that's my thing. Oh, okay. Again, I need, I need a little bit more than my imagination. Was this a no from go?
So she said no so fast.
It was a hard no. We have preschool aged kids, and I was like, what if this thing breaks? What if they fall through the holes? Like, I don't know. All these like worst case scenarios kept popping into my head, and I'm not big on heights either. So just I also thought that with the double height space, I want to be able to see all the way up, and that cargo net is going to block the view. So there were aesthetic reasons for why I also did not want this hammock.
Yeah, I'm hearing the different perspectives in it.
Yeah.
Hammock, cargo net. Very different aesthetics there.
Yeah, in Kat's mind, this is like the thing you haul in fish with from the deep ocean. No, it's
She's not wrong, TJ. Is there I don't mean to be picking sides here. I'm going to really try to stay balanced, but I realize I'm asking like the designer here. Have you ever seen like a beautiful hammock?
yeah.
I guess okay, a fabric. Fine.
No,
Moving on.
look, there's
Moving on.
there are
It was a bad
companies
idea.
that no.
We just start inserting images of pretty hammocks.
Yeah.
We're talking right now, Katie. You know this.
We're just edit this in post. Kat, fun ideas you had that didn't make it in?
No.
Fun ideas? No, I'm not the fun idea.
No. Kat has fun ideas, but they make it in.
Oh, what? What was my fun idea that made it in?
Alcoves.
Yeah, the alcoves is fun. But no, that was this house. This house is
Yeah,
this is the alcove. Right. Okay.
yeah.
the whole lounge was your idea. So the kids have secret doors into a guest bedroom. That was a fun idea.
Yeah.
So Emerson has a secret bookcase door, and then Macklin's has a closet that has a door in the back like Narnia. So you can walk through his closet through the back into the lounge. So they can like meet in the middle. They don't ever meet in the middle, but
That's the idea.
In theory, they could both hang out there together.
Right. That was like
fun.
with the heat map in mind, right? We didn't want a room in our house to go unused. And if we rarely have guests over or staying in that space, then how could we use it when it's not being used as a guest room? So we thought it'd be like a kid lounge.
But the fun is in how you get there. That's the like the how of it. Okay. To bring in the kids. So they've also been a part of these projects, and I imagine in my mind something that's probably, well, you tell me how close to reality this is because you have all these fun ideas and you can like actually bring them to fruition.
Mhm.
And you share with the kids, this is what we're doing. They're like, yeah, mom and dad, we love that. And we'd love to support and, be as mature as possible through this process. But how does it go with kids? How has it been?
They're very, well, right now they're very involved. Obviously, when we designed this house, they were really little, like they're preschool age. So their amount of contribution was different than it is now. Now we bring up a design idea like redesigning the lounge, and both the kids say, "Oh, can we help? We have ideas." And so
Yeah.
they want input in it. Uh,
Awesome.
Emerson has a Pinterest page, a Pinterest board. And so she adds a lot of photos and ideas and inspiration for her room. And she showed me one recently. It's like a platform bed with like drawers underneath. And I was like, are you going to ask daddy to build it? Because TJ built Macklin's loft bed. And she was like, no, because he already has to build you a bookcase. So I'm not going to ask him yet. And I was like, well, you can put it on the list of things you want daddy to build.
She's like, he's busy. He's
Schedule's booked.
That's awesome.
But there's been
So
times with specifically their rooms. That's where they have, and Emerson more than Macklin, because Macklin has a built-in bed, so it kind of takes up a lot of space in his room. Emerson can move her furniture around. It's a normal kind of situation. So she wanted to rearrange her room a couple years ago, and we had her draw her room to scale on graph paper and then draw her furniture and cut out the pieces and then rearrange it so she had some agency over, like, this is how big your room is, this is how the stuff was going to fit, because she was
right.
like, we'll just put the bed here and then this here, and it's like, that doesn't actually work in reality. So like we needed her to understand, like, if you want to do it, okay, we'll do it, but if you understand how these things fit together in space, like she thought she was going to have some palatial dance floor if she just
Don't we all?
rearranged it. Yeah, right. And it's like, it's not as much space as you think it is. But now we've created a monster now, because just recently she was like, oh yeah, I want to rearrange my room again. It's like, we just did this not that long ago.
She already has the graph paper.
Uh-huh.
She's like, see, that's excellent because it's also, again, as a parent, I'm like, oh, that's skill building. That's a real like, and and as a parent, such an economical response instead of a no or we'll talk about it. It's like putting it back in their hands and being like, okay, well, you do the math. Here's what you have to do to get to where you want to go, and makes them do some of the work and they
Mhm.
learn while they're at it.
They learn. Yeah. Now she also wants to finish the attic and put a bathroom up there. So we're not doing that exercise for that project.
Yeah, she has big dreams.
Yeah.
Not that
Her own
space.
suite.
Yeah. So however she ends up as an adult, I hope she's very well off, because she has
Work that
expensive
dream.
taste.
Resources.
Yeah.
Resources. Hopefully she's listening to the episodes. That's very this is really helpful. I appreciate um on behalf of our listeners, though Kat is representing the people here, that I would imagine a lot of folks get into the design process and then they're like they might even be designing for their families and kids. Um, but then they get into it and they're like, oh, yeah, we have kids. And this is also going to disrupt their life. This is going to move them around a bit. Again, when you're actually in it, when you are going through a build or a remodeling process, anything that you have found helpful when it comes to keeping schedules and keeping routines and making sure everyone's still fed and getting where they need to go for kids. Because again, as adults, we can kind of figure that out, take care of that ourselves. um, and even as like great, supportive, and creative as the kids might be, it's yeah, changing a part of their flow.
Mhm.
Anything to pivot this into a parenting podcast, anything you would advise for partner and parent listeners keep in mind and any advice for them?
Mm. Do you wanna take this first, TJ, or you want me?
I don't have a good answer, so you can.
Okay. Well, one, it depends. It depends on the kid.
Mm,
Depends how involved the kid is gonna be. It depends on the age of the kid. Um, I think the more communication you can have with your kids about what to expect and what's gonna happen, the better, so they're prepared. I also think if anything's gonna happen to their room, that's a full discussion with them and give them some ownership of it. It could be an easy as a paint color, it could be picking out a bed, and that way they get excited about the whatever it is you're doing.
yeah,
Kid A lot of kids don't like change, but I think the more you prepare them for that change and then listen to what they have any fears or any excitement, lean into that excitement. Um, yeah,
right.
I think it's just having a discussion with the kiddos.
It's
Yeah.
it's interesting because when there's from the professional side, like I always ask when there's kids involved. It's like, should we talk to the kids, get feedback? And zero people have taken me up on it. They're like, nope, mm-mm. Like we're doing this.
Interesting.
We'll make the decisions. Now there have been a few times when construction starts. Um, a couple of jobs ago, I worked at some place that did a really good job. Like they got little hard hats and they would give the kids a little hard hat and then like a little like a tiny hammer and like let the kids like put a little hole in the wall to start demo. And that was a
That's cute.
cute way to
Yep.
like engage them. But I haven't had anybody yet really take me up on, yeah, let's get the kid involved in designing some part of
Yeah.
this.
I think they'd be more interested than you think. Because I'm having flashbacks of when you, TJ, were designing our house and we were in the rental and you had the drawings laid, all over the table, like the kitchen table. And there is, I think we have a photo of like Emerson sitting next to you and she has her piece of paper and she's drawing and I don't know what exactly she's drawing, but it's like she's pretending to do what TJ's doing.
Mhm.
Right.
Um,
Well, that feels like a part of it. I'm wondering if some homeowners, some clients feel like take it literally, like, oh, I'm not gonna ask my kid. My kid's not in charge of this. But what I hear both of you saying is like, that's not, it's about asking. It's about,
mhm,
it's not about taking exactly what they say and applying it to the project, but
mhm.
it's more about the how and the process of like getting them involved so that it can be something that they acclimate to. Um, but that it's more heard as like, I'm not gonna take my kids' design advice. That's not what it's
Yeah,
about. Like
right.
some of it maybe, but it's more about, again, the communication and starting the conversation.
Like it could, like Kat said before, like it depends on the kid too. Like Emerson thinks it's super fun. Macklin isn't the biggest fan of change.
Mm,
So like maybe all of our clients just have a kid on that end of the spectrum and it's just been a coincidence that there's like maybe they've asked and the kid doesn't want to be involved. I don't know. I have no idea.
yeah,
All I know is the answer's been no.
so far. So
So
anybody
far.
listening,
Yeah.
anybody listening, maybe take TJ up on it. Um, Related, Kat, how in the process have how do you all do feedback? How do you do
Mm.
feedback when the architect is your husband?
Yes. Well, I've also, I think, learned how to give better feedback. I think I just listened to the episode. I think your last episode was the ew no one.
Mm, mhm.
And my gut reaction to things is to give TJ the quickest, easiest feedback, and that's usually no. We just did this, I think, last week when we were thinking about installing a fireplace in our family room. And we went to go to the showroom, all these electric fireplaces. And so TJ's talking to the sales rep, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, these are hideous. Nope, I don't think they look real at all. I need a real fire. These look fake to me.
Yeah.
Might as well just put up a screen of fire on my TV and that's call it a day. And TJ's like, so what do you think? Nope, nope, don't like it. I was like, let's see your gas one. So then we start looking at other options, and he's like trying to translate for me to the salesperson. He's like, so what I'm hearing is that your most important thing is like you want, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this must be how your clients feel because you just so emotionally invested in the decisions and the choices. And you go in the showroom is like, so many options, right? And it's like you pick out
Right.
your type of wood, you have to pick out what the flame looks like, and there's different brands. And so I think TJ's job is to translate what I'm thinking, and he can tell from my voice and my face, and then get to the heart of like what it is I really care about. Oh, I guess going back to my why. Why are you doing this? What's the feel? You want to feel cozy. The electric fireplace not feel as cozy to you. So I'm
And does
usually
that
we
feel
work really well together.
yeah, I was gonna ask, does that feel helpful or frustrating in the moment or a little bit of both?
Honestly, it sounds like it would be frustrating, but no, it is super helpful. It is
Yeah.
really helpful because you don't feel overwhelmed until really somebody points it out and you're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I need to narrow it and this is what I need to narrow it to. We can disregard all those other options. This is what I'm going to focus on." And he does a good job of corralling me into what it is I'm actually looking for.
What a I think we all need that. Like, that would what a gift to have a translator. Like, "One moment, let me try to explain this in
But you
context."
wouldn't think you need one, right? You wouldn't think you would need one when it comes to design. You either like it or you don't, but there's so much gray involved, I think, with different design choices. And you can imagine how many design choices there are when having a new construction.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Oh, yeah, like you said, just walking into places and having an overwhelming amount to choose from. Again, I really feel that as, like, reflexively, I'm like, nope, nope." I wanna, like,
Yes.
again, be economical, cut down on the energy spent, and but this sounds like it's actually a good energy investment,
And
so
it is good. And TJ's surprisingly very go with the flow in terms of what I want to happen with
Surprisingly.
choices. Surprisingly, I would have thought when designing our house that he would have had more of an opinion on
mm,
things, but I remember specifically like going to the tile showroom and he was like, "Okay, what do you want?" And I was like, basically my answer was white. I want white tile. He's like, "Are you sure you don't want anything else?" I was like, "No, I want white." And he was like, okay, well maybe you want an accent." I'm like, okay, I guess." So, he would present options and not like, "I like this." Like I don't think I ever heard, "I would like this in the house." Like, "What
mm.
would you like? Do you
Now
want
you
like
heard it
this or this?"
once.
Huh?
I mean, we've established I wanted the hammock.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
Right,
well
but
established.
not that.
Understandably.
Just that.
But that's really, a a yes, I hear it's like a gift of having someone who,
Mhm.
gets professionally understands the process. I'd
Right.
put out there for our listeners, like, what a wonderful opportunity for you and your partner, for you and your family to maybe get to know each other better and get to know what matters to you. Yes, in
Mhm.
your home, but like as partners, as a family going through this.
Right.
Again, in the middle of like a, you know, tile or fireplace design, maybe it doesn't feel like a great learning opportunity, but sounds incredibly worth it.
It's not all cats presenting it in a way that's generally true. But there's also like giant blank walls in our house that we both want to put art on, but we just cannot agree.
Art
about
is hard.
what
Art is
the
hard.
art should be there. So like it's not all like idyllic, like, oh my gosh, what a blessing it is to have me in your life, Kat. Um, because so I tell people all the time, like, I'm never going to wash a dish in your kitchen. Like, this isn't about me. Like, if you need a professional design opinion, I will offer it. But my job is to help you figure out what's important to you and then determine the best way to realize that and make it better than you thought it was going to be. Because it's not my house. But this time it is my house. So it's hard for me to do that with Kat because I like at least some small percentage, my opinion does matter in this
Yeah.
case.
Mhm. Although I
So
do think no, go ahead.
no, I try to defer to Kat as much as I can
Mhm.
because I feel like my opinion can be when we were younger, and this was definitely true. I before I realized like my ego needs to be taken out of the process in general, I was like, I'm the design professional and this is our house. Um, and it was frustrating. But now, with age comes some semblance of wisdom, at least a tiny bit in this case. Uh, so, we're going to put a fireplace in and we'll get whatever fireplace Kat wants because it's for her. It's not for me. So my opinion
Yeah.
doesn't matter as much. Like if we did a heat map of like the fireplace, I'm not going to spend any time with that fireplace. It's not for me. So I
Yeah.
just got to figure out how to make it work. That's my job in this.
Yeah. Although I do think for the kitchen, my only request was design around my sink. And that was really my only request because we had a big white farm sink in our first house, and I wanted that in the new house. So I was like, well, I don't really care what the kitchen is as long as I have this sink.
Yes. Kat was like, I want this sink. And we were
Yeah.
like, okay. So for the,
Do you know
now
I
we
have
need
a British accent
I
at
have
home?
noticed.
so for the people who don't know us, I don't know, a handful of years ago, I started narrating Kat as British because it just fits. And she does it too now. Like she narrates herself after she'll say something. She's like, oh, I feel like having a biscuit. And then she'll go like, I want a biscuit. Um, so it
That
was
just
very
sounds
much how
like
I want this sink in the middle of my kitchen and I want it now.
I was
Now
gonna
the
say
bratty British
That's
girl.
how I hear it.
a little Veruca Salt
That's
there,
right. Hmm.
but the girl had opinions and they worked for her. Um, no, I think that's to your point, TJ, the like gift of all of this isn't that it always works and it always means that the two of you come to a quick and fast and agreeable solution. But, you know, as I think we'll be talking about in a future episode, as much as we've emphasized, it is it's valuable to be working with a professional that you trust, that you can do have some disagreement with and conversation around. It's like the same with our spouses, with our partners, with whoever we're going through this with, to be able to like disagree well. And that's more what I hear in this, than like we just always work it out. Like to be able to go through these stressful projects, um, and still somehow land near the same page with each other. Um, and maybe that's a good way to close it out today. Something I would want to know, and this might seem like really zooming out, Kat, but
Yeah.
given that it is stressful and you are going through it not just as a homeowner, but as like, oh, the wife of the architect and designer,
Mhm.
what for you makes it worth it? Makes these projects, make these endeavors, makes being the people who take the undoable, the impossible, the hard projects. Um, yeah, what makes it worth it and valuable to you?
Well, it depends on the project, but I think I really focus on the outcome, like
Yeah.
how our lives are gonna it sounds so dramatic, how our lives are gonna change with this
But
project.
it's real. Like,
It's real. Like, I take something simple as like a piano refresh that we did.
yeah.
I don't think you've talked about this, but we had a piano that we painted and wrapped with removable wallpaper. And before we had a keyboard, and both TJ and Macklin play. And now it's just such a showcase. Like, it's like a piece of art in our family room, and that you really appreciate it, even when it's not being played. And so you create these like family, to me, like as TJ said, like a focus on the family. You create these family moments where, TJ's playing Adele and like Emerson belting it so off key, but it's so cute, right? It's so cute. And then like
Yeah.
Macklin's practicing his piano there. And it's just, I don't know, it's really nice to have those memories. And I think with any project you do is going to have some emotional component. And I like focusing on that. How is this going to change my life for the better? It's really why you're doing the project to begin with. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really I know I keep going back to the really being able to relate to not necessarily seeing the spatial visioning things spatially, but
Yeah.
to be able to have like a felt sense, to have
Right.
like a
Right.
feeling that you want you and your
Mhm.
family to get to live into. Yeah,
Yeah. Exactly.
that's great. I love that answer. I can't think of a better one.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Good.
We did it. You were our first guest, and I think we did
Yay.
it.
I
Thank
hope
you.
I did you proud.
Oh my gosh, more than, more than. This is going to be the most popular episode. Well, thank you so much. Thanks so
My
much for
pleasure.
joining us, for
My
your
pleasure.
time. Um, Based on your experience, you think you might like come back someday?
Sure, I'd love to come back.
You heard it here. She said it on air. Can't take it back.
Uh,
TJ, anything else that people need to know?
no, look, I joke around a lot, but my life is so much better because of the stuff that Kat sees that I don't yet see and believe.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have Kat on the show. So Kat, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you would like to have this TJ, call to action us. Put something together here. Do you want a hammock in your home?
Look, here's the if you take nothing away from this episode, I think it's with the right tools. I think that the fortunate part of Kat and I working together is not that I'm a design professional, but we've developed all of these tools to help facilitate conversations. So whether we're the right fit for you and your home or not, there's a lot of tools on the website. So I think the call to action would be check out the website, look under education. There's a ton of stuff there that's going to help you make decisions for yourself, or if you're doing this with a partner, you and your partner to work together to figure out a lot of this in a meaningful way to hopefully save some of the aggravation that might have otherwise occurred, because it can be a really fulfilling process when you come into it with a shared goal, even though you don't yet understand how you're going to get there. And you might be coming from two different paths. You know you're going to meet at the end of the path together. The tools are there to help you do that. So that I think that would be the call to action. Check out the tools on the website.
Yeah. Folks, go check out the tools. Do it. Until next time.
We'll
We'll
see you
see you
then.
then.
Bye bye.
Bye.